Well, good morning to you. Congratulations, first off. You've made it to the next level of Jumanji. It's the 31st of March. Hard to believe we are 3 months into this crazy year of 2021. It's glad to have you. We're glad to have you with us on Up to the Minute. I'm Todd Duplantis. We've got a great show for you for the next half hour. Brittany Pacheco is joining me right now. You know, Brittany, we were talking about our animals earlier, and I'll finish the story out for our viewers at home. You see that dog over there? Okay, this little thing laying on the sofa. Okay, so we cover the sofa because it's a new sofa. He lays on it, as you can tell. I've never seen this dog get sick, but over the weekend, my parents came to visit. What does Jack Andrew do? We take the blanket off the sofa. He jumps on the sofa. First time on the sofa without the blanket. What does he do, Brittany? Throws up all over the sofa. That was my
dogs are just great companions, Todd. They say, get a dog,
it'll be fun.
It'll be fun. Exactly. Yeah. It is fun. It really is.
I just don't get it, but that's just the way of life with
it's like marking territory.
But as you can see, he was very bothered by the whole incident, and he's still bothered by it today. So.
Yes. So bothered.
Yep.
Well, good morning to everyone joining us for this morning's Up to the Minute edition. I'm very excited because one of our guests is actually a former teacher of mine. So I'm very, very excited to speak with her. But before we do get into today's show, I do want to remind everyone to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, as well as our YouTube channel and LinkedIn. I can't leave out LinkedIn because we've had a boost, Todd, like a huge spike in followers on LinkedIn. So we must be doing something right.
Yeah. Well, we're showing this show you can watch on LinkedIn as well, the YouTube version of it.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's true. Excuse me. So back to YouTube. Subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to like the videos that we have there. Also, to our audience, we need your help to grow our audience, but more importantly, just share this great information to those who are not following us. Hit that share button at the bottom of this broadcast. That way it pops up on your newsfeed. And Todd, let's get into today's show.
Brittany, I think the reason why we're getting a lot of popularity on LinkedIn is because this show is on LinkedIn, as I mentioned. One of the reasons why people watch this show is because we have great guests. Today's no exception. We're going to take you out to the Houston Zoo virtually. Lauren Wappler is the manager of public relations with the Houston Zoo, and we're talking about gaming, virtual reality, and usually on a Thursday, but it's Family Fun Wednesday. Good morning to you, Lauren.
Good morning. Thanks for having me here. Excited to be here.
So we've got a lot to talk to you about. We're going to talk about gaming, Houston Zoo, all that coming up. Stick around, Lauren. We'll be back with you shortly. But as we wrap up Women's History Month, we have a guest from our English department. Brittany's excited. It's one of her former teachers. Of course, she's from the English department. She's also the founder of a theater that promotes the empowerment of women. We're going to welcome Jennifer Decker, English faculty in HCC Central, and also co-founder of Mildred's Umbrella Theater. Good morning to you, Jennifer.
Good morning.
So first off, do you remember Brittany? And what was she like in class? Did she ever give you any problems?
It was many years ago, but she was one of my best students. Wow. And after she stopped being my student, we have been friends on social media since then. So I think it was 2007 or 8. It was a long time ago.
Well, if that isn't a great promo for HCC, I don't know what is. I mean, you've got teachers and students who both remember each other and they keep in contact. So Brittany obviously got a lot out of the class, and you got a lot out of Brittany as well, being in the class. So that's good to hear.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your theater, because we haven't had a guest on one of our shows, I think in the last 2 weeks. Brittany may remember this, but the guest randomly mentioned your theater, and it's called Mildred's Umbrella Theater. What is your company's mission, and how are you involved in it?
I started Mildred's Umbrella Theater. I was an actor. It was 2001, and there wasn't a lot of theater. There weren't a lot of individual theaters in Houston at the time. There were the bigger ones, and then a lot of people were doing their own thing. And so I started the theater to have an opportunity to do the kind of work that I wanted to do and the people I was working with wanted to do, which was a lot edgier. Eventually it became, the mission was doing this anyway, but we decided to focus it on women, plays by women. There weren't at the time a lot of people doing plays by women. We were able to premiere, we're tiny, but we were able to premiere a lot of pretty prominent female playwrights at the time. Now it's gotten a lot better where most people are trying to make that happen, but that's our mission.
I know when you start an endeavor like this, I know from personal experience, for a while it's just a labor of love, really, because you love what you're doing and you want to get others involved. You get them to buy into it. It seems like you've been able to do that. Where is the theater now? Are you still active, and how has COVID affected your operations?
Well, we had a space, a dedicated space for quite some time, but we have very little funding. So it was a lot of overhead. So now we just rent a space when we do a show. The space that we were renting was in Chelsea Market, and it's been leveled because it was purchased by developers.
Right.
So we don't have our own theater anymore. We're hoping to do shows at the Deluxe Theater in the Fifth Ward.
I remember who mentioned your name. We were talking to someone about the River Oaks Theater, and they mentioned your name because we're thinking River Oaks Theater, you got a space there. It's historic. You guys need a space. I think we can do something here if we can get you in there.
If someone wants to pay for that, I would be happy to do that.
Yeah, I hear the rent's pretty high there.
Small, so
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but COVID, it shut us down. Everybody's shut down. Sure. Nobody's doing any shows. We're doing digital stuff on Zoom, and we've done a couple of little films. So when it's safe to do live shows again, we will be doing a show at the Deluxe Theater, probably in the fall, November.
Let's talk about the hit that the theater industry, and I'm not just talking movie theater, the performing theater industry and the performing arts have taken over COVID. I mean, you hear about a lot of shops that have just closed up altogether, a lot of the small theaters. I mean, look what happened with River Oaks. They just couldn't make it over the hump. How do you see us being able to survive this, number one? And when do you see things getting better as well?
Well, all of the theaters in Houston are talking to each other about it. We have been for the whole year. We're all on the same page that it's not safe yet to do live productions, and probably not until you won't see the first one fall. At least in the professional theaters.
Right.
There are some community theaters, amateur theaters that are doing things in the community. I think they've been pretty safe about it. Honestly, we're all just kind of playing it by ear. We think it's going to be fall. There are all kinds of things that the ventilators have to be exactly right. You have to have, depending on your size, you have to have people spaced out, and that kind of thing is hard to accomplish unless you have a brand new state-of-the-art building. So right now everyone's thinking fall, but we're all still kind of tentative about it. We're hanging back and saying we're not going to make any definite decisions until summer. That's about what everyone's saying right now.
Is it more promising, though, to you, the fact that the vaccines are getting rolled out, and in just this past Monday, all Texans over the age of 16 can now get a vaccine? That's got to be good news for your industry, though.
Definitely. That's a factor in whether we will come back in the fall or not. If we can achieve some herd immunity by then, and we might still be having to require masks.
Sure.
But at least we can have live shows.
Yeah, I'm hearing the mask thing could go on for the next couple of years, even after a vaccine, because you don't know how long the vaccine really is going to last. I mean, that's still a question out there, and there's so many intangibles. What are your plans? You talked about the fall. You've got some things going on online. Do you have a production that you have in mind for maybe when theaters do reopen in the fall? Well,
we did have one that we've been pushing back since about a year ago. It was a little bit bigger of a production, though, and our budget has been slashed because we've had no ticket sales all year.
Right.
So we're looking for something smaller to do in the fall, maybe a small cast, do complicated show, just to get warmed back up and get back into the game. And so we don't know what it is yet. I'm reading a lot of plays around. I teach 5 classes too, so that's kind of happening at the same time, but we need to find the right project to get us back into it. But it will be at the Deluxe Theater, hopefully, which is in the Fifth Ward. It's an old movie theater that's been restored too. It gets less attention than the River Oaks, but it's beautiful. And they've done a great job renovating it. And it's the Fifth Ward redevelopment people are running it. And a couple of classical theater is also doing shows in there. They have been. but we're hoping that we've got a space held and it keeps moving back and moving back. So we're hoping that does happen in November. And in the meantime, we have a French festival that we do. It's called FemFest. That's a reading series, and we try to premiere 3 female playwrights of a particular demographic. Normally, we had Black women's voices. We had an Israeli consulate collaboration, and this time it's just the virus edition. It's going to be in May and June, and it's going to be 3 plays that are sort of about COVID or an apocalypse that have been submitted to me by women. They're not published, and there'll be readings like this, and then we have a short film of a one-woman show by Will Eno, who is a male playwright, but it's a female character. That is going to be happening in August. So and that'll be an actual filmed play, so it'll be on a stage.
Where can people watch these productions that you're going to be doing virtually? How can they find you on the web?
MildredsUmbrella.com. We also have a Facebook page, and all of these virtual things. Well, our tickets are normally pay as you can, even when we do live theater. So if students don't have any money, they can see it free, and that's still exactly what it is. It's just by donation. They're all free, the virtual stuff.
Jennifer Decker, one of our HCC English instructors and also co-founder of Mildred's Umbrella Theater. Great luck to you. We hope this. I know you're just dying to get back into a live theater in the near future. We look forward to seeing that. Stay safe, Jennifer, and thanks for all you do.
Thank you so much for having me.
All right, we're going to move now to the Houston Zoo. Lauren Wappler, of course, joining us once again. Good to see you, Lauren. We're combining our gaming program. We're going a little bit of a stretch here. We do gaming programming here at HCC. We teach it, of course, with a course instruction. But you guys have something coming on called the Game On Experience, which is pretty cool. Tell us what you have coming up at the Houston Zoo.
Yeah, so brand new event. This is the first year we've done it. It's kind of like an escape room style event at the zoo. So you and your friends, groups of 2 to 6, can come together. You're going to be given clues. We had our first one just last week, and we're going to have others in April, May, and into the summer. So once a month, you can sign up online and come out. And you're going to get clues. Like last week's theme was be a keeper. So a zookeeper was helping you learn how to be a keeper. And then they had to leave to go do something. So you're on your own to do the rest of the work. And you've got to figure it all out as a team to escape the zoo and get the job done.
So instead of a room, you've got the whole zoo that you'll be working in. Is it similar, I would imagine, to a scavenger hunt?
Very much so, yeah. So it's very scavenger hunt, like you use your cell phone. It's all you need to bring with you, and that's how you're going to get through the clues and hop from one spot to the other.
Do you download an app to follow this, or how does that work?
Yeah, so once you arrive, they're going to have all the instructions for you. You download, and then straight from there, you're going to be prompted with the prompt. You'll read through it, and then around the zoo, you're going to see clues on signs and whatnot, and you'll get to see some really cool animals along the way.
For those who maybe not be familiar, do you guys have Wi-Fi available in the zoo that people can plug into?
Yes. Yeah, we have pretty reliable Wi-Fi. I use it all the time when I'm actually chatting with you guys actually at the zoo.
So tell me a bit about these clues that they'll be solving. You mentioned something about being a zookeeper. Will you be sending them across different parts of the zoo to pin on a certain thing or take a picture of it?
Yes, that's exactly how it works. You're going to have there's 4 zones within the zoo. So your particular group will be assigned to 2 zones. So you might be in the Pontonal, the new exhibit that opened last year. You might be over near the elephants instead for your clues. So you're going to see clues that are going to be based about those animals. I'm told our next theme is probably going to be called Rare Breeds. So the details to come of that, I don't know them just yet, but they will be on our website to find out kind of the nitty-gritty details on that particular theme.
So it sounds like the animals, of course, will be playing a role in this game as well.
Oh, yes. And it's really cool because you're going to be there after the zoo is closed. So it's not open to the public. This event is only for you.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So it's really cool. You know, you're kind of like an intimate experience there to keep safe with COVID. We have time tickets. So everything will be purchased online before you arrive. So, you know, you won't have more than maybe 100 people total, but everyone's going to be timed to start differently. So it feels like it's just you at the zoo.
So will it be at nighttime?
Yes, so it starts around 6 o'clock, and we're open till 9:30 for this event, and we'll have different groups coming in 30-minute increments. So you could be 6 to 6:30, 6:30 to 7, or 7 to 7:30. We'll also have food and beverages for guests to enjoy. You can purchase those tickets beforehand for additional adult beverages. And then we have our restaurants open for you, so you can make a whole night out of it at the zoo.
So you're going to get a glimpse of the zoo that really no one else gets because there aren't going to be many people there. And you're going to be going around seeing things without big crowds. Now, you had one already, but you've got others coming up. How did the first one go, and when are the other ones coming up?
It was really great. It was more of a relaxed and a very chill vibe for everyone. You're having fun. And, since it's not open to anyone else, you really can kind of spread out your time and stroll leisurely, or you're beating the clock to try to get through the escape portion of it. The others will be April 22nd is the next one on the calendar. And it's usually that third or last Thursday night of each month. So we're going into the summer with these. So there's plenty of time to come and check it out.
And just a note to our viewers right now, this is not for children because this is a 21 and over event. So really you're looking for the young adult crowds and older, of course. I guess I'd be welcomed out there as well because I'm really old. Of course. But the younger crowds are certainly welcomed. And you mentioned the restaurants open, or are there adult beverages that are available as well? Oh,
yes, they have beer, wine. If you're more into the spiked seltzer, we've got just about anything and everything for you to enjoy.
Yeah, Brittany's all excited about that. All right, how can you get tickets? Can you purchase them on your website? Do you need to do it ahead of time? And let's talk about your safety protocols after you mention that.
Yeah, so go to our website at houstonzoo.org. You'll be able to find the Game On webpage where you can purchase tickets and get all the details. You do have to purchase ahead of time. That's part of our COVID safety precautions. We're doing all of our ticket sales online, so we can really track how many folks we're expecting at the zoo. And then that way you show up, you can show your ticket on your phone, easy to enter the zoo. And once you're here, we do still require masks as a safety precaution for all of our guests and our staff and our animals. We're also disinfecting and cleaning very regularly. We have hand sanitizer available. So yeah, we're still keeping safety top of mind for all of our folks coming in.
Lauren, it sounds like this event, at least the first one, was very good for you guys, good crowds turning out. Could this be an event that could be maybe year-round in the future?
I hope so. We haven't been able to do events for the last year because of COVID. A lot of our, Feast with the Beast, we used to do some other 21 and up only events throughout the year that unfortunately weren't able to happen. So this was a way we're trying to get creative on how can we still invite those 21 and up crowds, still provide these really cool events. And we've seen this has been so far a great success. So I'd like to think that we can continue.
Lauren Wappler with the Houston Zoo. Folks, the event's called Game On. Go to their website. We'll have a link in the social media post for this show. Sign up for it, 21 and over, please. And you can get a glimpse of the zoo in a fun game, something other people really never get a chance to do. Thanks for being here, Lauren.
Thank y'all. Have a great day. Thank you.
All right. Take care. All right, we're going to move on to Brittany Pacheco with our news and announcements. Would you be game for this type of event? It seems like something that'd be right up your alley.
For sure. That's not even a question. Seclusion more or less in the zoo. It's 21 and over, so no little kids running around because who wants to deal with that? Anyway.
I thought at first it was going to be during the regular hours and you'd kind of just be going through the crowds looking for what you need, but really it's after hours, which is pretty cool.
Oh yeah, for sure. That's really cool. And truthfully, I don't mind the whole, because of COVID, you still have to obviously adhere to your protocols, that kind of thing. That's fine. That's probably going to be our norm for the next, couple of years.
Yes.
But I think that's just a really neat event to, just participate in. So yeah, I'm totally game for that. Game on.
Game on. So students, you keep an eye out for that. You could be building an app for companies like the Houston Zoo for cool things like this. You can learn those skills at HCC by our gaming program. We'll have information on that in the social media post for the show. All right, today, Lunch and Learn, staying resilient in challenging times. That's happening at 11:30, Brittany.
That is correct, Todd. That's happening today. So learn fun and interactive interactive ways to recharge and maintain through these challenging times. You will leave with strategies to self-regulate through physical and emotional skills using the latest research in mind-body approaches to health. So once again, this is happening today at 11:30 a.m. Check your HCCS emails for the registration link.
You know, I'm excited about this next announcement because I love the Eagles, and they're talking about Eagle of the Year. And I'd say Vince Gill did a great job. And also Dylan Fry, you know, he stepped in for his dad. I saw him live. So I'd nominate either one of those guys for Eagle of the Year. What do you think?
I literally have no idea what you're talking about right now.
Eagle of the Year nominations are due today. Come on, Brittany.
Oh, sure. We'll go with that. Okay. So Wednesday.
We're talking about a different Eagle. I was thinking Eagle, the band Eagles.
Okay.
Wow. Didn't get it.
You're really over that 21 and over crowd, Todd. Just saying.
Hey, those two concerts were sold out in Houston. There were a lot of people your age. My son was there.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it whatsoever.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyway, tell them about Eagle of the Year, Todd.
Eagle of the Year nominations are due today. Unlike what I was talking about, we're not talking about the Eagles, the band. We're talking about people here at HCC. Wednesday is the last day faculty and staff can submit nominations for the Eagle of the Year. The real Eagles aren't available for this, but Student Employee of the Year to Student Life. So if you know someone well-rounded, Brittany, students who participate in many facets of HCC, including campus organizations, and also inspire other students, please check your emails for all the criteria such as GPA and community service and nominate by 5 p.m. today, Wednesday, March 31st. For questions, we'll put the link in the social media post for the show. And we'll also put the Wikipedia page for the Eagles for Brittany so she can brush up on that. All right. What's the
Because
next?
Wikipedia is the most reliable source, Todd. Really?
It is for, you know, a lot of things it is. Well, for you, for the Eagles, it'll probably do. All right. Stephen Kleinberg, Embracing Student Success. Dr. Kleinberg, always a fascinating speaker.
That's right. So HCC will host a virtual discussion on HCC's future directions with keynote speaker Dr. Stephen Kleinberg, founding director of Rice University's Kinder Institution. Now that's going on the Thursday and Friday, April 8th and 9th. So we will be sure to include the link to register in our post after the show.
All right. In this day of recognizing the mental health care needs of others, HCC Katie, Psi Kappa, Psi Beta are joining forces virtually to make greeting cards for those in patient mental health services. They say they want to make cards hang out, share ideas, and of course, relax. 7 p.m. tonight, Wednesday, March 31st, and also 7 p.m. Saturday, April 10th. For information, you can contact their advisor. We'll have a link in the social media post for the show and also for the registration for that. And, you know, we had that crazy storm that came through here last month. And Brittany, a lot of our folks, including faculty and staff, are still recovering from that.
That's right. So the Faculty Senate has started an emergency fund to help adjunct faculty with such emergency expenses as car repairs, transportation needs, immediate family care, and pet health care, because Todd, as we know, pets' health are very, very important. Any current adjunct whose total household income is less than $60,000, including those on short-term work break, can apply for up to $500 per year. We'll be sure to include the link for this emergency fund in this post after this broadcast.
So we've been talking about this for the past couple of weeks, but Brittany, this summer, we are planning on getting students back into class for face-to-face instruction. That's the plan, starting with the summer and also in the fall. Of course, we're going to be following CDC guidelines. There will be safety precautions as you enter the campus. In the past, Brittany, we had 4 learning options for students wanting to go to class. Now we've got 5. You want to run over those?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is going to include a full-time face-to-face offering as well as hybrid classes, but because they will be small, early registration is crucial. So quickly, online anytime is our traditional online classes without any scheduled lectures. So that works great, for those who, let's say, work really odd hours. Our online honest schedule is exactly as it sounds. You're going to log in at a specified time that you chose for, when you registered. Our hybrid lab, which is new, lab classes that will meet safely face-to-face on campus and virtually. Now, our hybrid course, which is our lecture class, is going to do the same, meeting safely face-to-face on campus and virtually. Lastly, our in-person class is our safe face-to-face courses with traditional meeting patterns. So remember, these new face-to-face classes will begin this summer, and can't emphasize this enough. Early registration is crucial. As Todd mentioned, summer registration is currently underway, but also our fall registration will open soon on April 12th. For more information about our programs and to register, head over to hccs.edu/now.
Yeah, so it's real easy. You go to that one website, review the type of classes, take the ones you want. I'm sure a lot of our students are going to be excited, Brittany, to get back on the campuses. I know a lot of our faculty and staff have missed seeing the students, and we're hoping to get them back safely as soon as possible.
Yeah, students, and just keep in mind that, the campuses that are going to, host these face-to-face classes, they do have safety protocols in place. Most campuses, I believe, only have one entrance and exit for you to walk through. You're going to have your temperature checked. You're going to be basically cleared some sort of fashion. I think it's a wristband, Todd, if I'm not mistaken, to basically say you're okay to be on campus. But just be sure to also check your emails, because there is a daily email that goes out for pre-screening for COVID. That way, once again, you're okay to be on campus. So be sure to familiarize yourself with all our safety protocols before you head off to our physical campuses.
That's right. So real quick history lesson for Brittany, for the Eagles, what I was talking about. I know you just went over your head. You know who Glenn Fry is, right? Does that name ring a bell?
Sure.
Okay. He was the leader of the Eagles. He died in 2016, had some stomach issues, right? They thought they were over. Well, they decided to reform. So they got his son, who's like in his 20s, and they brought in Vince Gill. You've heard that name before, right?
Yes.
Country music star. Okay.
Yes.
They are now taking the place of Glenn Fry in the band. So when they tour, Glenn Fry's no longer there because he's dead. All right. You following me so far? His son, Dylan, and Vince Gill have stepped in and joined the remaining Eagles, and that's how they tour now. So there you go. There's your little history lesson of the Eagles.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Take it for what it's worth. All right. We're going to wrap up this show and talk more music with Brittany off camera. But tomorrow we got a big show, and you're going to be here too, right, Brittany?
Yes, I will be here. But we're going to be talking about one of the most beloved parades here in Houston, and that's the Art Car Parade. And it's returning this year through, though parade is a relative term in the age of COVID, but at least it's not virtual. It will be the third weekend in May, and HCC will be represented. Hey, that's cool. And art instructor Ashley Hope will be here to discuss her student project, an ambulance that has artistically reimagined. So that's cool.
That's going to be pretty cool. Yeah. Joining Ashley will be one of our top students, Michaela Smith, who will give us a firsthand account of how it was to work on the project before, during, hopefully after the pandemic as well. Because, Brittany, they started this project, I want to say almost 2 years ago. We shot some video on it. Then everything went on hold, and It's been in limbo for quite some time for these students.
Yeah, definitely. And, I'm very curious to see what they're doing with an ambulance. I mean, that you talk about thinking outside of the box, right? And especially in this day and age when first responders are so important now more than ever, of course, frontline workers, what have you. So I love to see what it is our instructors and students are doing for this re-envisioned ambulance.
Art Car it's a Houston institution. They're tied in with the Orange Show, another Houston institution, and we're going to be featuring all of them tomorrow on the show. Okay, Brittany, we'll see you tomorrow.
All right, Todd, thank you for the history lesson. I'm going to go, brush up on my Eagles knowledge. But for everyone, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us on social media, and we'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Up to the Minute.